Getting ready for our third race of the day then for the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship. The results of the previous race, race 2, forming the grid for this one. So it is Freddie Chiddick's number 66 in pole position alongside the 73 of Matt Larby. Second row 35 Mark Kendall and 21 Charlie Lower. Row 3 15 James Cook and 29 Rog Patke. Row 4 is number 2 Mark Jones and 96 Peter Mott. Fifth row, 45 David Rook alongside the 17 of Alex Vincent. Row 6, 49 Stephen Lancaster and the number 10 Gareth Lucas. Row 7, 51 Simon Arnold alongside 84 Joe Priday. Row 8, number 14 of Jonathan Ramsey and 74 Alan Venters. And then the penultimate row, 71, which is Giles Perry, and the 22 of Louise Deason. 23 Alan Bateman and 44 Ian Summers will round out the grid.
So the third race for our 270Rs. They've got to build themselves back up. I can see them all just forming up on the grid, but they've already given us two fantastic races today already, and let's look forward to the next 20 minutes of Caterham 7 270. This is only this one and two other races left to go, so still plenty of action for us. But this is the Mission Motorsport 270R Championship. Freddie Chiddick's taking it from 7th place last time, making all the way through to that win after his penalty in race 1. You've got Matt Larby there alongside him. That's 2 second places and potentially the points lead in the championship. And then we have Kendall in the green car there as well as they head off on their formation lap, or soon to there they go. They're heading off on their formation lap as we speak. Looking forward to this one.
Of course, we will have coverage of round 2, 20th and 21st of May, here on BARC TV from Croft up in North Yorkshire. And also we're in action next weekend as well. It's Easter weekend, and that means only one thing: the first round of the British Truck Racing Championship from Brands Hatch. We'll have full coverage of the big rigs opening their season next weekend, plus full car racing support as well. Don't miss Brands Hatch here on BARC TV live next weekend.
So let's try and watch out then for seeing whether Charlie Lower, after his penalty, could get back up from that 4th place finish there. He got demoted late on, didn't he? See whether he can make it back to that lead. And then Cook just getting ahead of Rog Patke at the end there. And Rog, we heard from him saying he's got a fair amount to learn from the academy, and he surely does. So we'll see whether he can implement some of those upgrades to his own racing skill. And then Mark Jones making his way from what was a disappointing qualifying earlier today, slowly creeping his way up through the order. So can he get stuck in this race from a 7th place start on the grid?
Going to be very interesting indeed. I think my prediction would be the winner will come from the first 3 rows, but then again, how can you predict anything in Caterham racing?
Yeah, and they've been well behaved around getting out of turn 1 today, and long may that continue, because seen the action that results from when we get around that opening lap without issues. You see these colourful grid of cars streaming down towards us over Hilltop and through this Knickerbrook chicane. What a great sight, and again seeing the lake to the left hand side of the shot there. It really is a beautiful place to go racing. What a place to start the 2023 racing season with the Caterham Motorsport. It
is indeed. It's an absolutely beautiful circuit here in the Cheshire countryside, as we've been saying all day. Ready for our third 270R race of the day. Freddie Chiddick's looking for his double.
The rain holding off as well.
Now you've done it.
It really did look like it was threatening, but actually I'm gonna call it. There are some dark clouds on the horizon, but we'll be done before they get here. But yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic conditions out on track. As Dave looks at me disappointingly, trying to.
You put the curse of the commentator on it now.
But here we go then for this race, the 270s. Again, there's Gareth Lucas a little bit further back than he wants, so maybe another driver to look out for making his way back through. But here we go then, lining up for the third final race of the 270Rs here at Oulton Park.
Onto the grid they come then, the black and red machine of Freddie Chiddick's into pole position, the FC Racing car alongside the blue and red of Matt Larby. What a debut in the category for him, looking for his maiden win, only his 3rd race in the 270R. Row 2, the green car, which is Mark Kendall, number 35, and the dark grey car with the blue trim, number 21 of Charlie Lowe. We saw his brother Zach in the previous race. Rog Patke, Rog to his friends in the pink on row 3, alongside the Welsh Dragon of number 15, James Cook, the man from Newport. Next, number 2 of Mark Jones. alongside the number 96. Watch out for Pete Mott, a much better starting position for him this time. The revs beginning to rise then. The red lights are on for Mission Motorsport 270R Championship race number 3. We're underway and down towards Old Hall they go. A great start from the pole sitter Freddie Chiddicks. Good start by Charlie Lower up the outside as well in the 21. Goes side by side with Mark Kendall. Not the best getaway for Matt Larby. He's down into 4th position as this 20 strong grid heads down the avenue for the first time towards Cascades through the flick of Dentons. It is Freddie Chiddicks who has the lead. Charlie Lower, a great start from the outside of row 2 into 2nd place. Mark Kendall in 3rd and Matt Larby coming under a bit of pressure for 4th place. Who's that coming up on the outside? It's not Rajaj Patki. He's dropped back about 3 places.
It might have been Cook there fighting with him as they go up here. I think it is Cook to the outside as they go around Island Bend this time. Spinning down here, 3rd step of the Caterham Motorsport ladder. Experienced drivers here mixing it with some academy up young guns and into Shell Oils. We've got Kendall there just ahead of that. Matt Larby does drop back, but he seems to have stopped falling backwards down the field now, which is great after a fairly disappointing start.
Yes, it is James Cook who has got up into 4th position there. I think that's in 6th place, number 45. That's a good start by David Rook from the 5th row of the grid. The red car up into 5th position. One car a little way behind at the back of the field. That's the 3 leaders nose to tail down to Knickerbrook for the first time. Matt Larby defending. Big lock up there from Rog Patki as they go into Knickerbrook. He's on the tail of the number 2 of Mark Jones, who's made a better getaway this time as they file their way through Knickerbrook for the first time. 1 or 2 cars a little strung out at the back of the field early on this one. There's a number 44. That's Ian Summers, the man from Benfleet's, giving chase to the pack as it's side by side for the lead. Here comes Charlie Lower on the inside, renewing his rivalry with Freddie Chiddicks. He takes the lead through Druids.
And if you don't believe this is going to be like this for the next 6 rounds of the championship as we go through all these other race weekends, then yeah, you won't believe it. They are side by side. Kendall looking to get involved, but more of a defensive move to protect from Cook and Larby behind. Then they've got Rook just following along through, so those two getting closer together on track. And there's Lancaster just taking away from the number 51 of Arnold as they head over the line then to complete their first lap.
Simon Arnold with an attack there, the local man from Warrington, as Charlie Lower goes for the lead again. Freddie Chiddicks had taken the lead back through the end of the lap there. So Charlie Lower's lead lasted 1 corner as they head down the avenue. What's the area of the circuit that used to be tree-lined in its early days. Obviously much different now due to safety precautions. Mark Kendall in that 3rd place as they file their way through the downhill left-hander along the lakeside. There's the number 84 car. That's Joe Priday under fire from the 14 of Jonathan Ramsey, who's further back on the grid this time. Had a moment in the 2nd race. Chiddicks and the 21 of Lower still at it, and Lower's retaken the lead again.
Yep, Lower just taking it back. It's all going backwards and forwards again, just every time we see the battle there in a different order. And they did it for the whole of the 2nd race, so can they do it for the whole of the 3rd one? In fact, Matt Larby came and got involved in that situation. He's got to do it all again, hasn't he, with Rook there right on his tail. Yeah, he's got to fight that back, but he's done it once before, so why not do it again?
Here comes Freddie Chiddicks on the inside. It's a much better run, incidentally, from David Rook, the Scotsman in number 45, the man from Blair Gowrie. As Freddie Chiddicks retakes the lead through Knickerbrook. I've already lost count of the number of times these two have swapped the lead, and we're only less than 2 laps into this race. Matt Larby fighting it away with Rook. That's the fight for 5th position. Has just retaken the place there, Matt Larby. Next in the order is Mark Jones. While looking, Rog Patki is with him. Charlie Lower back up the inside, retakes the lead at Druids yet again.
Yep, flowing on through this double apex right-hander, really tricky. You just knock off a little bit of speed through Druids. It's about an 80-mile-an-hour corner. So again, if you're going along the motorway later on, and if you're just at the speed limit, of course, you imagine going 10 miles an hour quicker and heading through a right-hander like that. That is what these drivers are doing every single time. But Charlie Lower now under threat from Kendall in the green car, who pulls out the slipstream. It looks a bit like Kendall doesn't want to get involved in that battle. He's happy for the lead to try and drag him along, and that's clever thinking.
There's Rog Patki. Where's he dropped down to? He's down to 9th place now. Not a great race for last year's Academy champion. Fairly well strung out towards the rear of the field. There's Ian Summers renewing his battle with Louise Deason, the Oxfordshire driver from earlier on in the day. Still got 15.5 minutes of this race to go, so we're not even quarter distance as yet. Plenty of battling still to come, and still these two are side by side at the front of the field. Side by side for 3rd as well. Kendall coming under fire from James Cook for that 3rd place.
Have to add a new stat to the lap charts, won't we? And not just lead changes, but how many corners they can go through side by side for the entirety of this race. They did it pretty much the whole of the last race. There's Mott, followed by Lucas, who's got all his wings back on again. Lancaster follows him as well. But it is currently Charlie Lower in the 21 quad-lock car heads the boss car of Freddie Chiddick. There is Larby trying to make his way back up from that 5th place, holding on at the moment onto Cook, trying to defend from Rook.
Here comes the 21 again, Charlie Lower to the inside this time, down into Knickerbrook. Freddie Chiddick's just that slightly bit later on the brakes, and he's able to hang on to the lead around the outside. Then it's the number 35 of Kendall still in third. The rest of them go charging through. There's that lurid number 49 car. Citrus yellow is certainly a popular colour this year for Stephen Lancaster and a couple of others. Everyone
gets used to these live broadcasts, you see, and they know that their cars stand out if they have a nice bright colour, especially when they've got it on their roll cage. But there, Lancaster there in that car certainly stands out, doesn't he? What a great result for him as we push on back through. But there is Freddie Chiddick then up the inside, defending from Charlie Lower, side by side once more, when we've heard that before.
Chiddick has got the lead back yet again. It's got to be about 20 times already they've swapped the lead, these two. Kendall just looking on, then it's Cook, Larby. David Rook, a much better run this time up there in 6th position. He's clear of 7th place Mark Jones, then Vincent, Patke and Mott rounding out the top 10 as Chiddick defends the lead as they come through Old Hall Corner for the 4th time. Fastest lap of the race to James Cook in the number 15, a 155.798 this time around, so slightly slower pace than we saw in the earlier 2 races at the moment.
Charlie Lower absolutely sideways all the way around Cascades. He was a bit hidden behind Chiddick, but his rear wheels was stepping out there, and you could see his hands whirring away at the steering wheel, trying to hold it all together, but perfectly balanced as they head back down through Island, sweeping around this sort of 100-mile-an-hour corner as they then haul on the anchors to 50 mile an hour to go around the right-hander at the Shell Oils, using all that banking to hold the car nicely down.
Charge their way through, still with 13 minutes and change to go. There is the 49 of Steve Lancaster. He's in 12th place. Over the curbs go the leaders. Still Charlie Lower who sets the place. Surely Chiddick is going to make a move into Knickerbrook. They've swapped places every time in this race through there. Here comes Chiddick down the outside, and it looks like Cook was briefly through into 3rd there as well. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out ahead. Yes, it is James Cook up in the 3rd position.
Larby didn't have anywhere to go there. He had to slam on the brakes a little bit, and he's lost a bit of momentum because of it. Freddie Chiddick and Charlie Lowe look like they might have worked together for the first time there. It was a much easier overtake than it has been previously. They can see that little gap developing, and they want to try and make the most of it, as we see Rod Patke just ahead of Mott there. There's Lucas and Lancaster, but you know, they're still side by side. I wonder whether they are working together. You can see that gap's developed quite quickly, where the battle behind has also been intensified. Yeah, they'll work together until the last lap and then attack each other again, most likely. There's the 51 car. That's Simon Arnold, the local man from Cheshire. He's in 13th place. Chiddick's ahead as they come through Lodge this time. It's Cook up to 3rd. Then it is Kendall in 4th position. Larby holds 5th ahead of Rook, who's now under fire from Mark Jones. A better run from him this time as well in the number 2 car, the man from Crawley in Sussex. It's kind of started 7th and is still in 7th, but he's definitely threatening forward as we see Cook then up the inside of Kendall to take that 3rd place over. Let's look out for hand signals between these lead 2 cars. If they are working together, you'll start seeing them with little hand signals out the car there. There's plenty of hand signals we give in Caterham, but normally they're obvious when you're saying you're going to work together. There's the number 96, that is Peter Mott, the man from Bath. He's rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Still side by side for the lead. This time into Ireland it's Charlie Lower, and he retakes the lead yet again from Freddie Chiddick. They are loving every second of this. You can see they are. This is great stuff. 3rd place is James Cook. 4th is Matt Larby. He's got through into 4th now ahead of Kendall, who's dropped back to 5th. The green car tries to make a move into Britain's, but passing moves there are pretty rare. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Matt Larby holds 4th position. And behind them it is Rook and the number 2 of Jones. Yeah, that was the first time we saw an overtaking manoeuvre that didn't look like it was orchestrated for a little while, and you can see immediately the gap has come down. They were fighting into Britain's, and you cannot fight into there. You have to let one go, but neither of them were willing to give that place up. But it moves Chiddick's back in front of Charlie Lower just as Cook comes in and gets involved in that battle again. Kendall, Larby, Rook following on. Here's the Lucas-Lancaster battle. Yes, they head up Clay Hill. They're fighting for 11th place behind Pete Mott at the moment. Freddie Chiddick, who's got the lead back again into Knickerbrook, coming up to half distance in this 20-minute race for the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship.
Jonathan Ramsey there, number 14. His day started well, but has gone off the boil a little bit. He's ahead of Alan Venters, another of our Scottish visitors. A little bit of understeer there for Freddie Chiddicks, I notice. His tyres started to go off.
It can happen. We're late in the day here. Temperatures, different changes, pushing hard on the maybe even a lock-up or two, and you suddenly get a spike in temperature and you can get understeer. As Charlie's back up the inside there. Now we've seen Matt Larby making his move up into third place, so we saw him drift back to sixth, didn't we? So he's fought all the way back now to third, very patiently as well. Quite an intelligent bit of driving there to take his time, take it step by step, and now he's firmly in that third place.
Still the leaders continue to relentlessly swap places. Here comes Charlie Lower again. He's loving this. Up towards Ireland they come. What will be the sixth time? Matt Larby has done the fastest lap of the race, 1:55.637, so no wonder he's come through into a provisional podium position. 2 second places earlier on. He wants to get into the top two. He wants a first win at 270R level. There's David Rook just ahead of the number 17 of Alex Vincent now. I think that's as Mark Jones got through ahead of those two now. Couldn't quite see that.
I didn't see whether I was wondering whether Rook's nose cone is wobbling. I think it might be. It's again, it could be an optical illusion, but it definitely got something showing out the corner of my eyes. Matt Larby looks to the outside of Charlie Lower, and didn't really make a definitive move there. So they continue on down. Remember the third step of the Caterham Motorsport ladder. They got 135 horsepower to play with, lacking windscreens this time through compared to the road sports we saw earlier, and they've got the wide track and uprated suspension going on to really turn this car into a race machine.
Up the hill, and that's somebody in the gravel. That's the number 40 car.
Gareth Lucas, that is.
Yeah, number 10, I should say. Gareth Lucas. Apologies there.
Yeah, he's recovering back. That's the outside of Cascades in that gravel track. Well done to the marshals. Thank you to the marshals, as ever, helping us go racing and making sure that Gareth Lucas can continue this race as the battle continues out front with Charlie Lower down the inside. Chiddicks put his wheels on the grass there as Larby now catches up, and it's turning into a front battle for 3 now rather than just the 2.
Yes, Matt Larby is really going after these two now. This car coming on much stronger in the second half of this race, it would seem, than those ahead of him. Are their tyres going off, as we said earlier? He looks to the outside there. Chiddicks leads it from Charlie Lower. Nothing between the two of them. Larby's still got the fastest lap of the race in the DPR Motorsports car. Here he comes to the inside. They're absolutely side by side into Cascades, the two leaders. They have been every lap so far. Charlie Lower around the outside into Cascades. That's an even rarer move than the ones we saw earlier on. That's brilliant.
Now Larby's going to have a head of steam coming up into Island Bend this time, so Chiddicks might lose out on 2 spaces. I think he just about holds on. Yes, you can see the red nose code of Chiddicks just holding on to that second place, but I think Larby would be quite happy for these front two to really calm it down so they could just get dragged away from this Kendall and Cook battle, because it looked like they were going to break away, but they're side by side through Cascades. Means that they're absolutely going to lose that gap again.
You're right about David Rook as well. He has lost his nose cone, so that will affect the aero on possibly the handling on his car. You see it there, the red machine in behind Mark Jones in what is now 7th place. So Jones is up into 6th, Alex Vincent behind, and then Rog Patnews having a quiet race in the pink car this time. Pete Mott rounds out the top 10. Chiddicks has got the lead into Nicker Brook this time. Charlie Lower ready to fight back once again though, and they're starting to build up in a train now. You can see they've closed up on the 2 leaders again.
Hope he's got his bonnet firmly strapped down, because that is going to be an air brake anytime he pulls out of the tow. The wind really gets under those bonnets, and if it's not strapped down carefully, you might start losing it. Here's that decent battle going on. Summers, they have been absolutely nose to tail for the entirety of this race, haven't they? And the previous couple as well. So what an outing for them as well.
Yeah, they're quite happy having their own fight towards the tail of the field. For 17th place in this one, of course, it's Gareth Lucas in last place after his off, as Chiddicks leads the train. Could be a train of 10 cars very shortly battling for the lead here into Deer Leap they go. Now, are we going to see any slipstreaming down the straight? There's just under 6.5 minutes of this race still to go, so a few laps still to run yet. Chiddicks has got the lead. Now here comes Larby. Has a look on the inside down into Old Hall. Charlie Lower manages to hold him off around the outside, and going wide there is the number 35 of Mark Kendall. Nearly went onto the grass. He could get 3rd place away. Yes, he has.
I think Larby might have missed a gear, or a gear change was awkward then, because he lost speed going in. He pinched it a bit tight, but then Kendall then sort of mugged him as he was going out, and he looks like he's just held on from Cook, so stops the rot there. But Patke's still holding on. Like you say, it was looking like it was going to become a 9-car train, but that gap Kendall is the next person to try and attack these front two, who have been resolutely there, stationary in front of them. No one can get through at the moment.
Yeah, one car that's dropped back is number 17, Alex Vincent, slipping down the timing screen, so he's disappeared somewhere. He did come through on that lap. He's down to 15th, so maybe he's had a moment somewhere out of our sight. So it is 9 now fighting for the lead. They were covered by less than 3 seconds at the end of the previous lap. It's Charlie Lower back in the lead then. Matt Larby down to 4th after that momentary slip coming out of Old Hall. Trying to attack Kendall for the lead once again. The leaders still side by side, nothing in it. Chiddix pulls back ahead into Knickerbrook. Charlie Lower right on his rear panel there as they come through the chicane out towards Hislops and then into Clay Hill.
Back to orchestrated racing though, that was an absolutely, they worked together on that one, and you can see the gap that they've got, and that's why, again, these wise heads on these drivers' shoulders are really trying to solidify. Anytime they see a gap, let's work together now, and as soon as that gap starts coming down, they'll start working against each other again. But that shows the experience as we come into the tail end of this race. What has this final 270R race for this race weekend got in store for us? Another orchestrated pass? No, Chiddix holds on and resists Charlie from the outside as they continue on and completing their 8th lap.
4 minutes or so to go, so they'll start to attack each other again fairly soon as they come through down the pit straight. They're still side by side. Still in 3rd place it is Mark Kendall in the green, number 35, then Larby, Cook, Jones, Rook, Patke and Mott. Up into 10th place now is Jonathan Ramsey coming through from the lower reaches of the grid, the number 14 car, down into Cascades. Just a couple of feet in it there for the lead of the race, nose to tail this time. They'll go side by side, I'm sure, later on in the lap once again. And there's that noseless car of Rook further back in the order, number 45. He's currently in 7th position towards the Shell Oils hairpin. Once again, Matt Larby under a bit of pressure there from James Cook, the Welshman in number 15. Cookie ready to attack.
Certainly having to look in his mirrors now, isn't he? And he'll be breathing and puffing heavily. End of a really long day for all of our drivers here as Charlie Lower again launches over that curb. Kendall trying to hold on from Larby, who's got his mirrors full of Cook there. And there is the Rook car without its nose cone as they head on over the rise once more. Chiddix trying to shake the toe there, but it is these front two still out there. Kendall going to the outside. Has Larby got to move up the inside? He has. Late on the brakes there for Larby. Great move into Knickerbrook. He finds himself back in 3rd place after that, dropping to the 5th place after that issue.
That was a move from nowhere there, really, from Matt Larby. He's ready to get his second wind in this race and attack the 2 leaders maybe. He's got the momentum back again. There's only 3 minutes left, so it will be 2 laps to go this time around. We head out of Druids. Lead group has headed up towards Lodge. Next through it is the number 49 of Lancaster. He rounds out the top 10 at the moment. Leaders still together. Chiddix has the advantage. 2 laps to go this time. Charlie Lower tries to get the cut back out of Lodge Corner into the rise at Deer Leap. To 3rd, still in 3rd place, but he's lost a wing, is the number 35 of Mark Kendall as Lower goes for the inside and retakes the lead once again.
Great move there, so as we see there, yep, again, nose to tail. Gaps developing quite late on in this race. Larby, where's he gone? Well, he's behind Cook now. What's going on?
We've got a red flag, I think.
What's happening?
We have a red flag. Something's happened somewhere.
So we just try and see what's
Larby's
happened.
gone missing. What's happened to Matt Larby, we don't know. A couple of cars have come into the pits. That'll be on seeing the red flag.
We're having a look around to see whether we can see anything, but anyway, we do know that we've got a red flag out on track, and with 2 minutes of this race to go, that will be the conclusion. So they'll take back a couple of laps, and that will be the conclusion of this race. So that's a sad end to the 270R racing. We're having some fantastic races so far, but let's find out what's going on, and then we'll call the results as soon as TSL give us those up here in the commentary box.
The timing screen, I can tell you, has now counted back to the completion of lap 8. So Freddie Chiddix will take the win ahead of Charlie Lower. 3rd place will be Mark Kendall, number 35. Matt Larby shown in 4th place, but he won't be classified in the results as the cause of the stoppage. So 4th will go to James Cook. It will be Mark Jones in 5th. No, Matt Larby will be taken out of the results. 6th place will go to David Rook. 7th is Rog Patke. 8th place for Pete Mott. 9th, it's Stephen Lancaster, number 49. 10th, number 14, Jonathan Ramsey. 11th is number 51. That's Simon Arnold. 12th goes to Alan Venters, number 74. 13th for number 71 of Giles Perry. 14th for number 17, Alex Vincent. And 15th place, Joe Pridate, number 84. The other finishers were the 44 of Ian Summers, the 22 of Louise Deason, the 23 of Alan Bateman, and the number 10 of Gareth Lucas after his off, completing the finishes. Well, we'll head down to Parc Fermé with Sam very shortly. Hopefully can catch up with our double winner today, Freddie Chiddicks.
So I'm here with Mark Kendall, provisional third place.
Provisional, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it going well up until that point?
It was going well, yeah, and I just hope Matt's okay, because that was a fast corner, fast crash, and he hit the barrier heavy, I think. So, but I've heard he's out of the car, so as long as he's okay, that's the main thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, what a mad race again. Yeah, yeah, I can't make head nor tail of it, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much.
Excellent. Well,
Okay.
congratulations,
Yeah.
and hopefully third.
Hopefully,
That's
yeah.
another good podium.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you. Right, we're going to go to Charlie Lower next. Charlie. Sorry, can I just grab you for a moment? So it's a provisional second place for you.
Perfect. I'll take
So,
that.
yep, another podium.
Yep, nice little haul of points that is for
Yeah.
the first weekend out.
It was a good battle with you and Freddie, wasn't it?
That was amazing, yeah, because we've been racing all year and all last year. Yes, I definitely trust him a lot. So yeah, we can race really tight. It's really good.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Right, a quick word with Freddie now. So, Freddie, provisional first place. That's a great weekend for you, really, isn't it? Apart from slight penalty they had, but still on the road it was fabulous weekend.
Yeah, slight hiccup this morning. Would have been really nice if I could get the 3 wins. Great weekend. Yeah, looking forward to the next one, and hope Matt's okay after that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we've got a full season of that.
Excellent. Well, yes, hopefully. We'll see you at the next one. Thank you very much. There you go. Head back to you guys in the commentary box.